I've got the looks and the charm of an old movie star. Cary Grant, if you will, so I find it bizarre that this girl should refuse to step into my car. She must be shy, she'll come around, it's just a matter of time. Aurora, Aurora, Aurora.
Hey there, Screen Beans, and welcome to Screen Snark, the podcast that celebrates all of the shows that are in our eyes, on our minds, and in our hearts. I am Rachel Quirky Shank, purveyor of magic.
And I am Matt, a.k.a. Stormageddon, an unmagical, boring being.
I felt really magical just
Good,
now.
you should.
I feel like I brought something with, the clap before we hit our
Got to get the
thing,
energy
you
flowing,
know?
right? Got to get things going.
Feels good. How are you, Matt?
I'm okay. Very tired and yet wired at the same time. I don't know. World words. I got nothing. This is already off to a great start.
We're nailing it.
Nailing
Look
it.
at us go.
I am going to waste no time introducing our incredible guest, Hana Kim. Hana, thank you for joining us.
Hi, thank you for having me.
I adore Hana. Hana is an incredible writer and creator. I think I met you through the Some Good Shows crew, I feel like.
Sounds about
or maybe
right.
Jesse Vitelli. I feel like Jesse Vitelli is to blame more than anybody.
Typically, yeah.
Typically, yeah, usually. Got him.
Someone get Jesse a shirt that just says "Always to blame."
Always to
The
blame.
problem.
I love it.
The problem. Jesse, the problem Vitelli. There we go.
Ooh, yes.
New nickname for Jesse.
I'd fight that in the ring. You kidding? I'm ready.
Hana, I'm so
Send
glad.
him in.
I'm so glad you're here. In a little bit, we're going to talk about all the awesome stuff you've done, the writing you've done, and some cool nerdy things that you do on the internet. But before we get to that, as always, we will talk about the most recent things we have watched. And I, as always, will go first. And I've brought something that's weird for me to talk about a little bit. So it requires a little bit of backstory. So I'm someone who has watched YouTube like TV for a long time. Rachel and I have talked about this before. And there are a lot of early creators that I followed for a long time. And a lot of those early creators I fell off with. Like a lot of folks, like their content changes or you just don't like their vibe anymore, so you move on. And so one of those creators was someone named Markiplier. Who I followed pretty in depth for a long time. I just liked his stupid Let's Plays and he was goofy. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to follow this guy and watch his dumb videos. And then he started to shift into more narrative stuff and doing more acting stuff. And just at the time didn't vibe. I was like, I'm not interested in this. I'm going to bounce. And then very recently he put out a choose your own adventure style 2-part movie called In Space with Markiplier. And it was the internet was buzzing. And so I was like, all right, why not? I'll go check it out. I haven't watched any of his stuff. And I fell down this goddamn wormhole of literally all of his narrative content, going all the way back to his Who Murdered Markiplier, one of his first big ones, and then watching all the way through again to In Space for a second time. And so I'm here, my content that I brought is In Space with Markiplier Part 1 and 2. And it's weird.
It counts because it's on a screen.
It counts. Well, and also it's narrative, even though technically it's a choose your own adventure and kind of like a video game.
Yeah.
We've broken our own rules before, and I'm bringing a YouTube show. It's fine.
Yeah, what are rules?
But what's interesting to revisit this is the production value on this was kind of insane, and also it was just this, I remember Mark's early stuff and his, I guess you could call amateur video stuff. And I always dug it because as an amateur creator myself, I was like, oh, I got this vibe. This guy's kind of got dumb himbo energy and I relate to that, and, but
yes. Also a very soothing voice,
yes.
Unlike a lot of the very high-pitched screams.
A lot of the people in his same genre of content do not sound like him.
Yes.
No.
Markiplier is the anti-Fred,
The anti-Fred. I love that. Amazing. Yeah, you are not wrong.
Yeah.
And so I dove back into this thing, and it's actually really interesting. So for those who are not familiar with In Space or what he's done previously, A Heist with Markiplier and A Date with Markiplier, it's a choose your own adventure, but in YouTube form, where the tagged videos that show up at the end of the video allow you to make choices. And you go through this adventure. And Markiplier actually, through his videos, has been creating this giant narrative with a bunch of original characters for a long time. which I only sort of knew about. And then after this was like, well, now I need to know more about these characters. I have to learn about the universe. The fucking MCU has ruined me, and like comic books in general, because like I want all the lore and I want to know everything that happened. And but I really
the FOMO is real.
The FOMO is real. But I really enjoyed this take on a choose your own adventure. I think it's really interesting. The narrative is there's a spaceship where the camera is the captain. You're in the shoes of the perspective character, sort of like a first person shooter. And you're making choices because things go haywire. The ship gets stuck in a wormhole because it's powered by a wormhole. And like then just craziness ensues. And like after watching it and then watching his older stuff and then seeing the payoff for a bunch of bits from his old videos and like weird characters that make a return, it actually got like, I just got really roped into it. And now I've resubbed to his YouTube and I've been watching some of his other Let's Plays and stuff. I haven't watched a lot of Let's Plays lately. Rachel knows I watch mostly video essays these days. And so like, because I kind of put them on in the background, the visual isn't as important and I can kind of just listen. But like, with this one, I kind of got roped in, and it made me rediscover why I liked this creator. And to my knowledge, anyway, Markiplier's not done anything heinous, which is always a column in the favor of a YouTuber, because there's plenty. I stopped watching because they just turned out to be shitholes. Right, yeah, exactly. You just type it into Google.
Yeah, I feel like the closest it ever came was there was a like almost a corporate channel that was going to dethrone PewDiePie, who sucks.
Yes.
And Markiplier was like, please don't let this corporate entity like take over YouTube. And I think that was like, oh, so you're choosing PewDiePie, and it's like, no, both are bad. Just one's going to make things exponentially worse on a systemic level versus worse on a like propagandizing pipeline of angry white men, you know,
which are always bad,
which is also terrible. Yes. Please don't get it twisted.
Yeah. And we're not saying that PewDiePie isn't terrible. He's a fucking Nazi and he sucks. So like, you know, he can get fucked. But that said, so I mean, it's kind of fun to come back. Like for me, the reason I wanted to talk about this is because like YouTube, as opposed to like TV shows and stuff, all that can happen with that as well. Like, you know, I like a lot of the podcasts I listen to, I come to YouTube for specific creators and their voice. And like to have jumped ship when Markiplier started doing this narrative stuff, and then to come back solely because of that narrative stuff that made me jump ship in the first place, showed me a lot of growth in my own taste in what I'm going to YouTube for. Like I like Let's Plays, but I mostly go to Twitch for that because I'd much rather watch my friends who I know on Twitch be dumb and play games. Like that's my brand, and so that's my preference. And so like I said, YouTube, I'm mostly coming for the more curated content lately, but it's just really interesting to come back to this creator who I didn't leave because I hated or did something fucked up for once. It was because of this just getting bored with the content and trying to keep my subscription feed on YouTube at a manageable level so I don't fall behind on the backlog, although that ship has sailed long ago. Like my Steam library, my Switch library, and every other collection of anything, I'm just behind on everything. But yeah, and so I really liked this. I think if you like sci-fi, if you like timey-wimey stuff, because it's got a lot of that kind of like Doctor Who-esque and parallel universe timey-wimey stuff, and it just was kind of fun to make decisions and then kind of cheat and go back and see what the pathing is and like see all the different little bits. And it was like for me as someone who likes science fiction, enjoyed Markiplier enough, really liked the cast that he put together, which are all pretty much regulars either from other YouTube channels or from just his channel. It was fun to see. Also to see this evolution when I revisited everything of how he's just become a pretty good actor and a pretty good writer. Like the jokes are genuinely pretty funny, and some of them are like stupid funny, like, oh my god, that's a ridiculous joke. But like I like kind of, you know, I like potty humor and stupid like lowbrow humor as much as like high comedy. And so like it had a nice mix of that, and it did seem to pay off a lot of stuff that he's been working on for a while. Also, like you said, Rachel, he's got one of the deepest, most soothing voices on YouTube, which I don't mind either. like in my brain, I'm like, I want to do a Markiplier impression here, but I can't. So I'm not gonna.
No,
I'm not gonna bother.
It's too low.
Too low.
Too low.
But yeah, it was really fun and interesting, and I think worth checking out, especially since here we mostly talk about TV and movies, but I think YouTube more and more has become very, like, especially since there's a premium version of YouTube with no ads, and there are a lot of shows that kind of become more episodic. Like our good pal Patrick has created a narrative where there wasn't always, and so like. That has become more common with YouTube creators. And so exploring that with Markiplier and like inevitably, you know, when Patrick releases the feature finale of the season, I'm going to watch it and I'm going to treat it like a movie because it is at this point, you know? And so I think that kind of stuff is really interesting to me, and I may want to try and explore it more on the show. But I don't watch a lot of YouTube originals, and from what I gather from Markiplier, YouTube originals are actually kind of coming to an end. So,
yeah, because like they've tried to set up like television. I know like Cobra Kai was like YouTube Red, and then it wasn't anything, and then they tried something else, and yeah, it just feels like YouTube isn't gonna join the streaming wars.
No, I don't think they can.
Not for lack of trying.
No, for sure not.
Matt, I do have a question about this. Did you watch all of the paths?
So I tried.
Or did you just watch one and then was like, that's canon?
No, so I did. So the first time I watched it, when I rediscovered Mr. Mark Plier, his joke, not mine. I'm just regurgitating it.
Mark Entertainment Flyer.
Mark Entertainment Flyer, Marky Flyer. But I watched it through once.
Now I'm imagining him as an animatronic, which is apt because like he's Five Nights at Freddy's.
Right.
Unbelievable.
But I watched one path, and then like I went back and watched all of his other narrative stuff for the first time. Because he's done a couple of like shorts and then a couple of choose your own adventures. But then I came back to it again this week and I was like, you know what? Let's see if I can see all the paths. And I don't think I found them all because for his 10-year anniversary, which just passed, he also did a live stream where he played his own thing and like let the people watching vote on the path. And then he made his own decisions sometimes to like keep them from seeing certain secrets so they would find it on their own. And so like I saw stuff that I couldn't find on my own. And so there's a map for a heist with Markiplier on Reddit, which I used to see all of that. But there isn't one for In Space yet because it's too new. But eventually when that releases, I'll go back through. But there is a canonical ending to it. You can make other choices, but it's meant to be kind of a loop because it's a wormhole and it's a time loop. And so it's a time loop story. And so when you make the decisions that end the loop, you get the real ending. And so I don't want to spoil it because I think it's worth investigating. It takes, I think, about if you want to do everything, it'll take about 4 to 6 hours. I think it's like because it's like a game almost. But if you just want to see one path and just keep choose and go, probably about an hour. You know, like a feature, an hour and a half. And I think it's worth checking out.
Take that.
But now that it's done, I'm like, well, I want more stuff like this. I'm sure there is on YouTube, but I haven't found it yet. So now I'm like desperately like a drug addict going, where's there more stuff? But it was fun to kind of discover something new related to YouTube and media that's arguably been around for a while, but that was new to me. That's what made me kind of get really sucked into it. And again, it was the rediscovery of a creator I respected and liked. So it was kind of fun to dive back in on someone I hadn't seen. It was like revisiting an old friend, right? The parasocial side of it. It's like, I know this guy because he lives his life on YouTube, and now I got to revisit and check in with him. And so that was kind of interesting also.
Did he glow up?
I mean, yes.
I mean, what is to glow up on a Markiplier?
I mean, he's attractive. He's not unattractive. He's an attractive man who has a deep voice, which is kind of like my target zone. So, but I don't know that I'm into him that way. Although I haven't really spent that much time thinking about it, but now I might. Who knows?
Planted.
Thanks. I appreciate that about you, Rachel.
Gotcha. Got him. Well, Matt.
Yes, that's my name.
Storm. Matt,
I mean, my middle name is actually Eric, so that works out.
Matt,
getting the lore.
Entertainment.
You're getting the lore, exactly.
Here it goes. Oh, which question am I going to ask? You choose, listeners. Just kidding. It's the same question I always ask. Matt, if you had to sum up Markiplier in space in just 3 words, and you cannot use Markiplier in or space, how would you describe this game video?
Game video. I like that. I would say space craziness distilled.
I like that.
I think
That's
my 3 words of that. Yeah, it was fun. I think if you want something that can be both dramatic and kind of goofy, it's definitely worth checking out. At one point, Markiplier plays an old man version of himself, and it's just so goofy. It gets me every time.
Ugh.
I like when young people play old men. It's just always very funny to me. Like it just cracks me up. Anyway, well, enough about YouTube nonsense. Rachel,
Yes.
what is the most recent thing you have watched that you have brought?
Well, funny you should mention that. I too have been watching a ton of YouTube. I can't count it, but I have watched so much of the backlog of Dominic Noble.
Okay.
Been watching a lot of videos about movies, specifically like adaptations of pieces of literature.
Okay.
Boy oh boy, have I just been on that jam for weeks now, just disassociating like you do.
Mood.
But yeah, for real. But in the evening times when I don't feel like I'm disassociating, Jay and I discovered that new episodes of the cartoon series The Owl House were available. So we went and rewatched the whole thing, and now we are just 2 episodes shy of the whole shebang, and those are not premiering until Saturday.
Amazing.
I love this show. I brought it before. I love it so much. It has escalated from that very like cute fish out of water problem of the week into this incredible overarching narrative that involves, like propaganda, changing society, pushing back against like authoritarianism. It's gay as hell. I love it. There's a non-binary character named Rain Whispers, and I would die for them. They're a bard.
Amazing.
What is happening? For those who may not know, who may have missed my Owl House episode, The Owl House is a Disney Channel cartoon that follows Luz the human, who falls into an alternate world called the Boiling Isles. And there she befriends a tiny demon named King, the King of Demons, voiced by Alex Hirsch, who you would know from Gravity Falls. And Ida the Owl Lady, who is the most powerful witch on the Boiling Isles. And they become this little found family. Ida starts teaching Luz magic. Luz ends up going to magic school, which is a much better version of the shitty wizard books, and constantly takes the piss out of it in the best way I could have imagined. And the world has expanded. More characters have been introduced. Dynamics have shifted. It's an absolute delight. And I am so sad that they didn't get another season. But where I am sitting 2 episodes shy of the finale has been one hell of a story.
Amazing.
Just revelations have come up. And now I just have to sit here and go, I know this thing now. This show told me this thing. It really has ramped up in the same way that Gravity Falls did near its descent, It's definitely followed that formula, and it is a great freaking formula.
So you mentioned Gravity Falls a few times, which listeners of the show know we both love very much. Would you say it's a similar vibe to that show?
Yeah, it's kind of like if Star versus the Forces of Evil and Gravity Falls were gay in love, and
the best
this
kind
happened.
of in love.
The best kind of in love. and this was their child, you can definitely feel like the influences of stuff like Adventure Time and Steven Universe. Like, this magical world isn't a sanitary magical world. It is gross and slimy. The Boiling Isles are essentially the carcass of a titan who is considered the god of this world. It's very Dungeons and Dragons, very like magic is dangerous, magic is gross, but magic can be learned. And the way they've sort of expanded and really like brought about like how magic works here is super cool, because it goes from witches can do magic because they have a bile sac to we also can use glyphs and different ways to like attune to magic, talismans. It's like there's so many different ways to be a magic user in this world. It absolutely rules.
Awesome.
I would die for all of these characters.
It sounds awesome. I mean, we are no strangers to magical worlds and like cartoons on this show.
I'm finally on some good magical trash, not the bad magical trash.
Yes, well, as we all know, J.K. Rowling can get fucked. So better to find more magical stuff that's not anything to do with the shitty wizards of that world.
Yeah, also, the heroes of this world actually want to change the status quo. Unlike a certain Fantastic Beasts series that's like, the status quo is the most important thing of all. So the status quo, of course, is a coven system. All witches are forced into one track of magic, be it potions or bard, abomination, and wild magic has all been snuffed out. So it's very much like we're bringing back wild magic. We're, sort of rediscovering like a history that's been lost to us through like being told something that wasn't true, so like power could be gained. It's really smart for like a children's cartoon, like this idea that like a person can use charisma and certain machinations and fear mongering to garner power and become the emperor. It's doing politics better than the prequels.
Hell yeah.
It's so good. I love it. I'm obsessed.
I will check it out one of these days. Well, Rachel, if you had to sum up the Owl House in just 3 words again, without using the same 3 words you did last time, I don't remember what they were.
I know it was something with sapphic in it, so there's that.
What 3 words would you use to, again, describe the Owl House?
Yeah.
You can do this. I believe in you.
Yeah.
It's not like I put you on the spot. This is our bit.
Yeah, no. Better children witches.
Yeah. Love that.
Because it is. Those kids are great. Those kids are great.
Amazing. Well,
I love all those babies. And they've all got such rich personalities and like character arcs. You love to see it. You love to see people grow and change.
Really? What?
Redemption.
That happens? Stuff?
Yeah, it happens. We're at the point where a lot of the bad characters are like just sad characters and they're getting redeemed, and it's like, yes.
A real She-Ra
Not all of them.
effect.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of
cool.
She-Ra in this too. Like,
neat. All right,
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out. Well, our incredible guest, it's now your turn, Hana. What is the most recent thing you have watched that you have brought to talk about?
It's kind of, it's an anime. Asian girl brings an anime. Crazy.
We love an anime.
It's a newer show. It actually just started like last month. Yeah, there's only like
Drop that
7
news.
episodes so far. It is called Birdie Wing. It is a golf anime. It's Birdie Wing Golf Girl's Story is the full title.
Amazing. Oh, I love that.
My only issue with
Amen.
it is the same issue that I have with every other anime where they are, for some inexplicable reason, in high school. They could be in college and it would not be weird. It's like the My Hero thing where like you see Momo and you're like, oh, wow. And you're, oh, fuck. They are in high school.
They are children. They are children,
Yeah.
literal children.
So they are, the characters are under 15. They do not appear to be, which is kind of fucking weird. But that's anime issues that we can talk about at a different time.
True.
The good parts of it are that it is surprisingly sapphic, and it's fucking incredible. um, it's just so it does that thing that, like that every anime does, where it's like I am going to go super over the top with like being what this is. Like it is a golf show, but the world is about golf. Like there is an underground golf mafia. Our protagonist Eve plays in underground golf tournaments for money.
Amazing.
She has a special move called the Rainbow Bullet.
I'm stealing that.
I thought about making it my Twitter handle.
That.
Oh, you should. That would be amazing.
It's so good. And she meets a girl, and like so the Rainbow Bullet, she just like shoots the golf ball like she has different colors of the bullet, but for the most part, she shoots it straight at the hole. There's no curvature. If there's a tree in the way, she will literally go through the tree.
Amazing.
And in the end of the first episode, she meets a girl named Aoi, who is a professional golfer that's her same age. Eve is a very rambunctious blonde, normal like anime trope, and then Aoi is like the very timid, like professional, like schoolgirl, like, oh, I'm very much about this, but like something about them like sparks in each other. And Aoi's special thing is that she can basically hit the ball wherever she wants. And so she can like curve it exactly where it needs to go. So it's like opposites attract kind of shit. There's also a golf mafia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I recall you mentioning
I'm very
that.
glad.
That's amazing.
I'm very glad.
There's a golf mafia where if they're like, it's like all the owners of the pro shops are like in the mafia. And so like Eve eventually wants to like get to know Aoi better. So she tries to become a professional golfer, but she only knows like the only connections she has are in underground golf. So she has to like work with the mafia to get sponsored by one of their pro shops so that she can be in the event. It's fucking incredible. It's on Crunchyroll. Everyone should watch it. There's only 7 episodes so far. It's only subbed so far, obviously, because it's so new.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is very good. And there's like, it's very nice. Eve is like taking care of like some orphans and like her sister with like the money that she gets. And it's just like, it's just a real fun time. I don't watch a lot of things that are just nice. And
right.
It just makes me feel good.
Yeah.
As you should. I love that. My favorite thing about anime, and like I'm so far behind on all the things that I want to watch, but what I love about the shows that I've watched more recently is that they have that kind of feel good. Like the thing that got me to finally start watching My Hero were the first few episodes where it's just like some tragic stuff happens, but it's also got this kind of optimistic feel good mentality. And I know that shifts, I've heard, as the series goes on, but like when anime has that, and it sounds like Birdie Wing. I mean, I also love when anime is about whatever. Like the more bizarre the premise, the more I like the anime.
Yeah, Food Wars is one of my favorite anime, which also has the same issue of like, oh, they're children. In a worse way, honestly. But
right. Isn't Food Wars the one where they have orgasms when they eat the food or something?
Yeah, it's
okay, I'm just making sure I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I went to culinary school, so it's
where...
very fucking funny to me, where it's like...
That's amazing.
I love that.
There's also the anime where the girl orgasms when she gambles. It's great. You love it. I'm now looking at stills from this, and our protagonist seems to be dressed like a little cat girl, and there's also a vampire. I'm in. I love it. I'm sold.
I mean, how could you not be?
I mean, the golf is a little, but I don't care.
Well, it's like, this
but
reminds
it's like
me of
mafia golf.
Like, I never finished it, but I played a lot of Golf Story, which is also like a golf RPG, and there's just kind of a weird premise. And I like when sports are thrown into these odd premises. And that's kind of like the bread and butter of anime, right? Like, there's been, wasn't there a volleyball anime? And like,
yes.
Like, a very good volleyball anime. Turns out, sports anime good.
Yeah.
There's
And then
an amazing ice skating.
It's
anime.
very gay.
Oh,
That's very gay.
isn't that
and
Yuri on Ice?
Yes.
Am I remembering correctly? Okay, yeah,
I
yeah,
love Yuri on Ice.
Where did you hear about Birdie? Are you just like up on the latest anime, and that's why you knew about it?
I have a
or-
Crunchyroll subscription, but actually I heard about it from a friend, and she was like tweeting about it and talking about it, and then I was like, oh, this actually looks really fucking good. And I was like, I got an hour, I can watch a couple episodes, and then I ended up watching everything that was available.
That's how you know you really like something, when you're like, oh, I'll just watch an episode or two. Next thing you know, it's been 2 hours or 3 hours, and you're like, oh god, I've watched it all.
Well, watching it all at the time was only like 4 episodes, so it really wasn't that much more than I thought it would be.
Well, Hana, if you had to sum up Birdie Wing, I don't even remember the subtitle.
I think it's a golf story.
A golf girl
A golf
story.
A golf girl story.
Yes.
If you had to sum up Birdie Wing, a golf girl story, without using any of those words, what 3 words would you use to describe this anime?
I know. I'm sorry we took so many words from you.
You have none
It's almost
left.
all of the words.
Grass sport good?
Oh, yeah, I like that. All right. Hell yeah. Grass sport good. That's great.
I dig that.
Grass sport not
definitely gonna check
actually
this
good,
out.
but grass sport good in anime.
Yeah.
In anime,
Grass
right.
sport
Grass
actually
sport,
very bad for the
very-
environment.
Yeah. Very
Yes.
wasteful. Very detrimental.
But just in the
Very
specific context.
expensive.
But in this specific contest, yes, grass sport good.
Yes.
Amazing. Well, I'm definitely gonna add that to my list. There's a bunch of other like animes. Like there's one about a little prince. I can't remember the name of now. That a friend has been posting about nonstop, and I'm like, I have to watch this anime. There's an adorable little kid in it. And
Oh, is it Ranking of Kings?
Oh, Ranking of Kings. That's it. Yeah, I've been seeing stills
That
of it,
one
and I'm like,
takes a turn. That's all I'm going to
Oh,
say
no.
about it, but it's a
Okay.
lot.
Okay, noted. I'll keep that in mind.
One day I'll get through all of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and can finally move on to more anime.
That's true. You've been watching that a while. That one.
Yeah, it's every season. I kind of need a moment because every season is like, there's a new JoJo in town, and it's just like my heart's not ready, you know. But now I'm at Giorno, and I hear everybody really loves Giorno.
Okay. Yeah, I still haven't
Giovanni,
started that
who
one.
also wants to be a member of the mafia.
It's just
Hey, anime, what's up? You want to talk about it? What's
why
up
all
with
the mafia?
So much mafia. I think there's mafia in like Skate the Infinity
Yes,
as
there is.
well. It wasn't the a previous guest brought Odd Taxi.
Oh yes,
and,
which
like,
also has mafia stuff in it, I believe.
Way of the House Husband.
Well, like the Yakuza is like a pretty recent memory thing / still very active thing for a lot of Japan. So I get it, I guess.
Yeah. Matt, do you like that I am much better at naming titles of anime that feature mafia versus shows that are actually on our network?
Yeah, your memory attention is very specific, and that's fine.
It's so fucked.
Well, we're gonna shift gears now and talk, Hana, a little bit about the awesome stuff you've done, and like you've written for a lot of different sites. I love your freelance work, but I have to start with probably my favorite article you've ever written, which was for Paste, and it's about one of my favorite video game franchises, and it's 10 things we wish Kirby went mouthful mode on in Kirby the Forgotten Land.
I'm so surprised they let I that's what I pitched. I did not give any context. I said I want 10 things I want Kirby to go mouthful mode on, and then they went approved. So shout out to Paste, honestly.
Yeah.
I had to self-edit a lot on that one. If that was going on the personal site, it would have been a very different list. Let's just
Right. It's so like what I love about your writing is that you can both do tongue-in-cheek and absolutely serious journalism at the same time, and like you have a skill at both. And like, not to say that this list of 10 things is not serious journalism, because of course it's the hard-hitting journalism we need, but like I love that like you just curated a list of stuff you wanted him to go mouthful mode on, and it's the best. It's great.
Oh,
I love my job.
I've pulled it up now. Yeah, these are really good. I love a regular hammer, but big.
Yeah,
Right,
there should have
obviously.
been a big hammer. Like there's Hammer Kirby, but like he should have been able to swallow a hammer and just like arcade, like a carnival game,
Go.
like smash people with it.
Yeah.
Agreed. None
Some
of
of
these
them
are
seem
wrong.
like an obvious
All of
miss.
them are good.
Like a spaceship, like UFO Kirby is a thing in the franchise.
Exactly.
So like spaceship makes sense.
There's also a
Yeah.
lot of missing copy abilities in this game that I am upset about. I miss Fighter Kirby so much.
I know. I loved Forgotten Lands so much. I thought it was a great Kirby game. I think it was a great introduction to 3D Kirby, like actual open worldish style. But I was bummed that some of my favorite stuff was gone. I mean, Hammer has become one of my favorites, and so that had representation here. But like Mirror and like UFO and like some of the staples were just not here. And I'm hoping in a future, even though you could upgrade them, I hope in a future game we get like this, but with even more stuff. Because there's some really weird Kirby abilities that weren't even featured in this. I would add, if we were expanding this list, I would add a PA system because like Mike, which is a running Kirby ability where he just kills everything on screen with a microphone, just had no appearance in this game. And so like,
I always thought Mike and Crash were kind of interchangeable. So like if one's there, the
They
other
are.
one. But Mike is way cooler.
it is. Well, because the third one, I have actual like perler bead art of this one. One of the Kirbys was headphones with a broadcast mic. And I'm like, it's podcaster Kirby. Like it was, it's my Kirby. It's me in Kirby form. But
Kirby is a true millennial.
true millennial. But the first thing I wanted to ask you, Hana, is like when it comes to writing and like journalism and freelance writing, was this something you always wanted to do? Like, did you go to school for journalism, or is it just kind of something you found as you were making your way through the artist's world?
Yes to both.
Amazing.
So I used to do super way back in the day, out of the goodness of my heart and for no other reason, just like that's what people used to do on the internet. Like I was a literal child, but I would write like guides for game facts and stuff and just like upload them myself and shit. That's how game facts worked back then. I think it still works that way. I don't know if the site's still open. You get me.
The site still exists, but I don't know if it gets new stuff. But you can still look for guides.
Yeah.
on it, I've seen.
I mean, I assume it's all like it's like Wikipedia, so it's like if it's
Right.
yeah, whatever. But I used to do that, and then I did a lot of Animal Crossing stuff like way back in the day. I honestly don't even remember like my username for that shit anymore. And I have a different name now, so good fucking luck.
Yeah.
But I did all that, and I've been kind of plugged into like the esports side of everything for a long time. I grew up in Korea, so like StarCraft has like a TV channel in Korea, like where you can just like turn it on and there's 24/7 StarCraft content, or at least when I was a kid. I think it's more branched out to all kinds of esports content at this point. But when I was a kid, it was basically exclusively StarCraft.
Wow.
And so like I just kind of always have been part of like a more engaged audience in gaming, I guess, instead of just like, oh, I play the game or whatever. And then I went to school and I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life.
That sounds familiar to
The
me.
typical
That's a vibe.
millennial / Gen Z path. I tweeted about this, but I'm really not sure what I am. I'm like right on the line where like half of people are like, no, fuck you, you're Gen Z. And then the like younger Gen Z are like, no, fuck you, you old bitch. So like, I'm kind of just in between. But like, yeah, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I actually originally was a music education major and then a music therapy major and then a dual major in music therapy and film. And then I dropped music therapy and I picked up Parks and Recreation Management. And then I became disabled and very disillusioned with the way government works in our society. So I
That'll do
dropped
it.
out of Parks and Recreation Management and I started going to school for digital communications and mass media at ASU, where I was already going. But it was like a different campus because ASU has like 8 different campuses now. It's 8 is an exaggeration, but like they're spread across the whole state. Like it's not just the main campus. But I started going to the downtown Phoenix campus because that's where all the journalism stuff is. And I got kind of more, actually made a lot of friends in the sports journalism, like majors and stuff like that. I was big into baseball, still am. It's kind of like one of my things I don't really talk about very often. Not really for any reason. It's just like that's just like the thing I like to do for myself is watch baseball.
Right.
Go Dodgers, go Royals.
I was gonna ask who's your team. Gotta know sports.
Yeah, I have a couple teams. I grew up a Dodgers girl. There were basically two in Korea. There was like two like MLB teams you found merch for it. It was Dodgers or New York Yankees. So they were kind of my number two, or like my number one and my number two for a long time. But then when I moved here, I started trying to like, maybe I want to find a different team. And for a while I followed the Mariners and blah, blah, blah. This is not a baseball podcast.
But I love it though. This is incredible.
And then the Royals won a series and I was like, oh, they are actually very like, this is really good baseball. And I started watching it more and more. And I was like, this is fucking incredible baseball. They really know how to play. It's just, I love the sport. I played a lot of baseball and softball when I was a kid. And so like, it's just kind of, especially since I can't really play it anymore with all my disabilities, it's something that I kind of just like to look at and think about. Also, I watch marching band fucking videos all the time for the same reason.
Love it.
I was a marching band for like
Love
10
it.
years.
Same. I was in the color guard.
I was brass line basically the whole time. And then I did indoor percussion.
I dated like the whole brass line in my
Hey, so did I.
There was like 5 of us. Like we're the tiniest little marching band.
My
boy.
college band had 450 people in it.
Woo.
I didn't date the whole. I dated like a good amount.
I'm glad.
Amazing. I love it. Hell yeah.
Dated is a lot. Words are things, and they mean things.
Yes. They do. They do. Words do mean things.
I don't want to bring up the terrible movie series that has that this one time at band camp joke, but like
It's not.
at the very least they're not wrong. You know?
They certainly are not. Especially when you throw college and alcohol in the mix.
Oh boy. When you get a bunch of repressed kids at a convent and that's where you have band camp. Woof, 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 woof.
Yeah, we should start a podcast about that. There's enough content, honestly.
Yeah.
But then, getting off of baseball and marching band,
Never.
I kind of just was like, oh, I'll try. And then like my first time out of school, like no one responded to my pitches. To be fair, I went back and looked. They were not good. They did not deserve to be approved. And so I kind of just like fell out of it for a while. I was like, oh, like I'll just like video games. Like I don't need to be like a content creator or whatever, even though like it's kind of something that's been always in the back of my head. And then for a while I was streaming on Twitch. It went okay. I like made affiliate and then I lost the password to that account and the email. And so there's a whole thing there. Plus, again, that has an old name attached to it. And that's work that I'm not willing to do.
That's fair.
So I'm on the road to affiliate again. I'm not streaming yet, but I probably will be soon. As you can see, I still have the setup.
You have gamer lights.
Yeah,
You've got the gamer lights. That makes it
real
official.
Pretty. Yeah.
I worked real hard.
I
These are
should-
push pinned to the wall very well.
Wow.
I love that.
It's so even.
I used a laser
can't believe
guide.
it.
That's so nerdy. I love it. I love it.
I used to also in college, one of my hobbies outside of like doing stuff was woodworking. So I have like a lot of that weird shit that I don't use anymore. But I was like, oh, I have like one thing.
Hana, do you want to know something buck wild? I almost looked at your background and went, that's so clean. And I was like, that's not woodworking though, but that's so clean. Must have been a pain to say.
It is foam. I did not create this.
Yeah.
I wish I had
No.
some.
I just mean like the lines.
No,
and
I
stuff,
appreciate
like,
it though. Yeah,
I
worked
I love
very
that
hard
I thought
on it.
like woodworker vocabulary when looking at it.
I appreciate it. I'm glad the skills are still there. I haven't actually been behind a saw in a while. But I kind of did a bunch of stuff, and so I was like, I'll just I'll do all of this stuff and I'll just kind of appreciate video games from afar. Then I started getting more into Twitch and all that. And then I got a Discord account and I was like, oh, I guess this is like real gamer hours, right? Like this is, and so I just started throwing myself into some Discords. And I met a few people like in the industry through that. Shout out to the Uppercut community, especially.
Hell yeah.
And like, I was just like, I want to like, especially being stuck at home, I was like, I wanted to like talk to people more often. And so just in doing that, like I realized like, oh, maybe I do actually want to like, not just post on Discord about video games. Cause I was posting like 800 word essays about video games in the Discord video games channel. And I was like, oh, this is a lot. And maybe I could get paid for doing it. And then I actually pitched my first piece to Ty. First piece, good God. English is my second language. But I pitched my first piece to Ty about Boyfriend Dungeon and the mom character in that specifically. And like how touching it was, and how touching it was that there's an option that you don't even have to see any of that. Like, I thought that was really cool. Yeah. But the article was specifically about, like, I didn't have like a great maternal relationship with my mom. And the one in that game is incredibly like just supportive and wholesome. And like, it's like your mom is your friend. And that was so foreign to me that I didn't know how to like grasp it. And so I just kind of needed to write about it, and they were totally cool with it and they let me write about it. And honestly, I'm still really proud of it. It's like my first professional piece. I self-published a thing about Pokemon Crystal and gender because Pokemon turned me trans. It's a stereotype, but it was literally like the first time I got asked, are you a boy or are you a girl? And I was like, oh shit, I don't know.
Yeah.
Is there a both?
Yeah. Option? Is there a both and or neither option?
Sometimes none. Thank you. M slime. Thanks.
And slime. Sorry, and that was very good.
You know the three genders: boy, girls.
Yeah, that's exactly my three personalities. I get you.
Yep.
And then from there, I just kind of looked into a lot of things. Like I think I do pretty good work, but like I definitely like right place, right timed a lot of it. And just like people say Twitter won't get you a job, but Twitter got me a job.
Yeah, it's not as true anymore. I think that Twitter can get you a job depending on who you know.
Yeah, you know? And I mean that is really what it is. It's like it's not like, oh, like I have the friends that are super high up in the industry or whatever, but like it is about who you know and who can vouch for you and stuff like that in a way. And like that is some skill sets that I took from like film school and stuff. So like I am glad that I actually went there, even if I didn't use any of that skill set. But yeah, and now I'm writing guides for GameSpot and some new stuff every once in a while. I have a new thing coming up pretty soon that I'm very excited about. It's pretty big, especially for like how quickly it happened for me, I think. Like not to like pat myself on the back or like toot my own horn or anything, but like it's a pretty big deal for someone who's only like really like 6 months in the industry.
I'm very happy for you. I'm very excited that you've got something coming up like that. And I agree. I think that like right now it's different, right? Because we're also so much more terminally online than we've ever been before in life. And so like you're going to make connections online. And like some of my best communities, I mean, we were making fun of him at the top of the show, but Jesse Vitale has become kind of vital in my life.
Oh yeah, no, he's amazing. I do want to make that clear.
Jesse Vital Vitale. There it is. There it is.
But like,
got him.
Meeting folks who genuinely want to build community and build bridges, and like Jesse's done incredible charity work over the last few years that you and I have gotten to be a part of, all three of us actually. And so like those kind of connections, and like you mentioned Ty before, like we had him as a guest on the show and talked about the origins of Uppercut, and like I think Ty sees the matrix code of
everything
queer
in
games
life.
Like everything for sure, but like especially just queer games journalism, like Uppercut is a thing I didn't know existed, and then it was my whole life, right? Like I read every article on that site. I supported recently when they were doing the Kickstarter for the freelance writers. Like I just think they're providing a service and a point of view that we just don't see enough of in games journalism. And I'm glad you brought up your Boyfriend Dungeon article. It's no secret to anyone who listens to any of my podcasts, but I love Boyfriend Dungeon. It's become one of my favorite games of all time. And the mom character, while I have a pretty good relationship with my mom, we're not best friends. Like, she's my mom. And so, like, still, that was foreign to me. And to read your experience with it felt relatable, even probably our relationships with our moms are very different. And I think that's a testament to your writing, the quality of it, and how you engage with the reader. And so this is mostly just me complimenting how awesome you are, Hana.
But I appreciate it. I did waste a lot of money on not getting a degree to do this because I did end up not graduating.
Oh, no.
Hell yeah.
Turns out living in a capitalist society without a job will make it so you cannot pay for school.
Yeah, I'm very lucky that I stayed local and didn't go away to school. And so my parents were able to pay for my college education, but I also got a degree in corporate communications. What does that mean? Fucked if I know. But
I got a degree in performance art, and it's working out really well for wrestling school, but not so much for the jobs.
I think that the burden of capitalist society has made some of that exploration difficult. But I think that you're doing some awesome work. Do you have, I'm curious because you're talking about how you were like enjoying gaming from afar and not like writing about it. Are there games that you have now that you still don't want to write about, that you want nothing to do with writing? You want it to just be its own thing, like your baseball, like that you don't want to touch, that you just want to enjoy?
I haven't, there's not been a game specifically like that yet, I don't think. Most of my, I think not even most, I think all of my writing at GameSpot has been about Fortnite, which is a game that I play like pretty often. I've been slacking except for work stuff like the last couple weeks because I maxed out the battle pass and I don't really have any incentive anymore. I know you have like the bonus levels and stuff, but like, yeah, Doctor Strange, and that's all that matters.
There you go.
But it's nice, and it's also like, it makes it feel more worth it to play games, I think. Mm-hmm. Like there's definitely like times where I'm like, ugh, like, cause Fortnite, they refresh the quest at like 6 a.m. my time. And so like to get that guide out, I've got to be up pretty early, like to play through it or at least get screenshots for it and like write it down. And so there's definitely days where I'm like, ugh, I do not want to like do this specifically at 6 a.m. I don't really feel like logging into Fortnite at 6 a.m. Sorry. But I don't think there's been a game where it's like, oh, I love this, because like so much that I can't write about it. Because like Pokemon has been one of my favorite games of all time, and I wrote about it. Boyfriend Dungeon is easily one of my favorite games of all time as well, and that's one of the first things I wrote about. And I think to me, it's like there are games that I won't write about because I don't really give a shit about them. Like I'll play them all the time. Sure. Like I don't really tweet about it, or I didn't really tweet about it, but like I played through Ghostwire Tokyo. I ended up not writing. I was gonna write a thing for Elden Ring, but I ended up not doing it just because like that's a time sink just to like get anything done in that game. So like writing about doing that is like, props to whoever was able to do that, because that's not something I can do for sure.
No, me neither.
But I don't know. I think it's more like there are games that I won't write about because I don't care. Like if I care about a game, it makes me want to write about it.
I get that. I think, and also going back to what you were saying about how like there are games that you enjoy more because you're going to write about them or because they're tied to your work. Like I very recently, and the episode hasn't aired yet on Fun and Games, but I recently got to interview the creator of Citizen Sleeper. Our interview with them, by the time this airs, it might be out that same week, I think. But like I had been wanting to play that game before we even met Gareth, and then playing it, knowing that I was going to talk to the creator fueled this game I already loved even more, because now I'm interacting with it. Like, I'm really paying attention to the nitty gritty to talk to the creator about it. And I love that kind of motivation for that stuff, because I'm I'm just as likely to pull up Final Fantasy 14 and just kind of fuck around and play that story and kind of just take my time and not want to do anything content-wise with it. But I'm trying to find this balance. And I'm curious how you do this, Hana, of like, not everything has to be content, right? Like, you talked about what you do and don't tweet about. Like, I'm trying to find the balance of like, I should tweet about this thing because I do genuinely really like it. Or am I tweeting about this thing because I got a game code and I feel like I need to tweet about it?
I've been there, buddy.
About it, you know? Yeah. And so like, I'm curious how you find that balance, because I know for me, it's tough, right? Like, I'll never promote a game I don't like. If I don't like it, I don't like it. But like, I also don't want to seem like, oh, he's just tweeting about it because he likes the thing.
Yeah.
Or they're paying him. First of
or
all,
the
nobody's
other
paying
way
us to
around
play
either.
these games. Right. Yeah. First of all, no one's paying us to play these games, I promise you. That's not
At least
how
not the
this
ones
works.
that we're tweeting about.
No, for sure not. But I'm curious if you've been able to kind of find that balance of like being kind of natural or honest in your sharing of the games you play and that kind of content creation.
I think this is going to sound really mean, and I don't mean it to. I think it's because a lot of games people only play games. I have a lot of interests that like I love comic books. I love now recently, as of like 12 hours ago, I love wrestling.
Yeah.
And so like,
wait, hold on. What
I
did it? What happened?
I spent, I think, like 8 hours just completely getting into the career of Hangman Adam Page last night, and it was fucking
the
incredible.
Baby boy.
I love him so much.
I cannot believe that Tony Khan let that story go that long.
It's incredible.
I cannot believe it's so.
Oh my god,
good.
it's so good.
Oh my gosh, the slow burn of Julia Hart right now is also giving me like the feels.
I'm so
my
it's so
gosh.
good. I used to
Oh
like
my gosh.
my friends used to like watch WWE back in the day, so I was like, oh, I kind of know about this. And then like AEW is something fucking else. It's so
good. I love it. I am currently in pro wrestling school, and one of the wildest things about pro wrestling school is how quickly I've just been meeting AEW wrestlers. Like,
yeah, they're just super down to hang out. Apparently,
just came to my school one day, and I was just like, "Oh my god, is that Private Party?" Can't believe it. Yeah, it's like the weirdest big little community. Oh, I'm so excited for you.
Yeah,
AEW.
I cannot wait. I might start pitching stuff about wrestling. Honestly, talking about how I don't monetize my other hobbies, but shit, I might.
Look.
I mean,
it's so easy to say it, and then you just start doing it anyway.
Yeah, and there's so many like other like indie promotions to follow. One of my favorites is like a very inclusive like queer pro wrestling revolution kind of thing called Enjoy Wrestling. Just like they keep doing it in like churches. It's the best. It's based out of Pittsburgh. Love them.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. That's so interesting.
You uncorked the whole thing. Oh
no, I'm totally fine with that.
Wrestling. It's mad.
Again, I stayed up all night last night watching wrestling. I'm good.
Ooh,
you're fine.
Yeah.
Give me whatever.
Oh,
but like,
oh my gosh,
I really do think that that's like what it is like a lot of people, and like I am still pretty early into this too. So like I haven't really gotten the chance to experience like real burnout. Like,
right.
But at the same time, I kind of have like, I was on a podcast and now I'm not, because like it started to feel like a chore to do the thing that I loved, and like, which was read comic books. And like, that's why I quit my job at a comic book shop, was because I was like, I hate comic books because of weird comic book nerds who want to come in and argue with me. I live in Phoenix, Arizona. It's not a great environment for like the only queer comics book seller in the area, especially when they do things like make Superman bi, and somehow that's my fault. Which, by the way, thank you for the credit. I will gladly take that.
I'll take it. I
do not want to be yelled at for my whole shift about it.
No, definitely not. Yeah.
But like,
it's
it's just, I think it's just you have to fulfill yourself in other ways before you can. I'm just repeating myself, but like it's. I feel like it's such an, especially with like enthusiast like journalism like this, or like even with like film and stuff. Like even if you love it, like it's gonna be work sometimes, and that's fine in a way. But you should really try to figure out what makes it not work, at least, or like not feel like work. Like what actually does make it work. Words are hard.
It's okay.
110%.
Yeah. Something really interesting about that idea of having other things that like bring you, I don't know. I don't want to be like bring you purpose, but like fill you up, and it's not just like putting all your eggs in one basket.
They just spark. You just got to do stuff that sparks joy.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is like that's kind of like a mantra, a vibe kind of deal, like within the school that I'm at, where like we're talking about becoming wrestlers, and it's always like, yeah, but what else do you do? Yes, you're a this who wrestles, and like one of the best things about like talking character building is like you're a sentient food. How's that? You know? And it's very much like when you bring a more multifaceted take to things, you're gonna key into more insights. You know, it's hard to like only be a film person.
Yeah.
You know, like you kind of need other outside influences, like the drama of baseball, or baseball makes for good film though too.
It does.
So, like baseball movies are such good movies, and it's monotonous to only be into the one thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, because you're gonna find how things intersect in ways that other people may not notice.
Yeah, and that's beautiful.
Literally,
like,
so cool.
Like being totally. Someone who's like I did screenwriting classes, I did comedy classes, and so like it didn't like teach me how to be funny or whatever. But like when I see a joke in something, I can see how they built up to that, and it makes it like so much more interesting. And then like when they use those same, especially since like games are getting so much more just like interactive movies at this point that are 60 hours long, and it's like they're taking a lot of cues from film, and they're taking a lot of cues from that other stuff. And so like I don't understand why we as people limit ourselves to that when they're like, oh well, I'm gonna pick and choose from film, I'm gonna pick and choose from music, I'm gonna pick and choose from whatever I want. Like, why can't we just do that, like, as ourselves? I also don't, this is going to sound even meaner, I don't make what I consume my personality. Like, I am, like, my own human being outside of what I do and consume, which is insane, I know, but...
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think a lot of people are just like, I am a gamer, capital G, and that's it. And that's, like, the worst part about them.
Yeah, Well, yeah, I think part of that is like we've been like, at least I can only speak for me, but I feel like kindred spirits here. Like I'm very online in a way that I wasn't 2 years ago because of the pandemic. And so like,
oh, I will not take this slander. I have always been terminally online. It just hasn't paid off until this year. Until
now. But like, we all become caricatures of who we are because people don't see your whole feed. They see whatever Twitter or Facebook or whatever other social media feeds them. And like, I'm known as the Mass Effect guy in a lot of circles because I talk a lot about Mass Effect. I have a Mass Effect podcast, for God's sake, but I am more than that. And like, there are times where I'm just like, y'all, I like Metroid and Kirby and
blasphemy
things and things that aren't video games. But like, I think it's less about what you put out and more also just what fulfills you that you can find that solace in and kind of navigate. I mean, it's all unhealthy and we're all learning how to survive it.
It's all toxic and we're all toxic together.
Yeah, we're all being forced to be brands and it's just bad.
Well, I mean, it's kayfabe. It's all it is. We're all building our own characters.
Everybody's a gimmick online.
I am the pink-haired gay cowboy.
Hell yeah, I love that.
Cowgirl, but cowboy it's a they them turn, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Cow them.
Cow them. Fuck
cow
it.
Them. Cow they.
Cowboy, cowgirl, cow slime.
Cow slime, exactly. There
Full
you
circle.
go. Full circle. Well, Hana, this has been delightful.
Yeah, Hana, thank you.
No, thank you
Thank you
guys.
for
Thank you
joining
guys for
us.
just letting me talk about myself. That was awesome.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
No, I don't joke when I say you've quickly become one of my favorite humans on the internet. Like, all of my interactions with you have been lovely, and you're so smart and so insightful and so fucking funny. And so
Oh my, should
I'm
I
just
go?
grateful.
I feel like I gotta. Wow.
Do
Do I need to get the lesbian flag, Matt? The water bottle?
No, no.
Psst, psst, psst.
No, it's fine. I know.
Hey.
No, but in all seriousness, like,
Yeah.
I'm just glad that you were able to come on the show. I appreciate you being a part of this. And I'm going to ask that you just hang for a minute. Oh, wait, no, actually, before we thank some folks, I don't remember how this show works. It's fine. It's all, before we wrap up, Hana, I would love for you to tell folks where they can find you and all
Yes.
your work on the internet
I
if you wish to be found.
So
I know.
confused for a second. I was like,
Look,
wait.
I was confused too. It's
It's
fine.
okay.
That's what editing's for.
Exactly.
Oh,
Edited.
I edit. Hi, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that last bit where everything kind of went
Where
wrong. and
everything
it's
stayed
still
in.
Here.
Pretty much.
Ah,
But yeah, tell folks where they can find you and all your stuff.
I am on Twitter and Instagram at _Hana23. If you want pictures of me, you have to go to Twitter. If you want my art, you have to go to Instagram. I know that doesn't make any sense. I will post my art on Twitter too. I also didn't talk about this at all, but I am an artist. I am working on developing my own webcomic, as well as maybe one with someone else that might come out later on. So that's another thing that's been keeping
Awesome.
me going apart from like my writing and stuff. But any news and updates about that are obviously going to go on Twitter, and also all of the times that I'm way too high in the middle of the night and talking about how I wish the gummy bear would eat me. That's also there.
It's true.
That's just kind of what I do. I am just an internet person. I don't really do any one thing. So yeah, you can just kind of find me. I'm sure like there's famous Hana Kims, so don't just like Google Hana Kim. It's a pretty common Korean name. But yeah, at _Hana23, it's all spelled out. HANATWOTHREE. I don't know why I'm spelling it out for you. That's it. Thank you.
Just in case.
I guess GameSpot.com. All right, bye.
yeah.
Well, thank you for that. Go check out all that stuff. And before we ask Hana our final question of the show, Rachel and I have some folks we need to thank.
Yes, I would love to thank John Presnell for the use of the song Aurora off the album Fair Game featuring Stefan Rimble. I got a little
did it.
lost for a second.
You got a little lost, but you got back.
Yeah, the
got there.
muscle memory. But seriously, John, love it.
Rules.
Great stuff.
Love our song.
Yeah.
Also, I want to thank the artist of our incredible show art, the incredible Katie Bug. Thank you for creating such awesome cartoon cuties of us.
Yes, and thank you to the Certain Point of View Podcast Network. So many great shows there, including the one about ice skating and the one about golf and the one
We don't
with
have those shows.
the mafia.
no mafia shows.
Sorry,
I have a pitch about a mafia show. Hold on.
Yes.
Amazing.
No, we've got so many wonderful shows on the network. We've got, of course, Matt's Mass Effect podcast, Reignite.
There you go. You got there.
We've got Panelology.
That's correct. That is also a show on
And
the
that's
network.
a show we have. And if you like Superman, straight or bi, you can check out Men of Steel.
That's also true. We do have a Superman podcast. Correct.
And we're all a little mafia of weirdos.
All right.
What is a mafia
You go to
besides a
Sophia-
group of friends doing things together?
That's obviously right.
Yeah, I mean that's what like The Godfather was all about, right?
Legit. Why I played the Yakuza series. They're just buddies,
It's all buds,
Himbo
fucking
Squad.
around, hanging out.
just
Himbo
shooting
Squad.
each other for fun.
You can find all those shows and a permanent invite link to our Discord server at certainpov.com. Also, if you have an opportunity, please rate and review us on your podcatcher of choice. It helps us grow this audience and find other awesome folks like you right there listening. Yes, you.
Yeah.
That person.
Oh wow.
You can
you
also
go?
send us a...
You should be
you
so
can send
proud
us-
of you. Here you are.
You can send us, this is chaos. You can send us a missive at screensnarkpod@gmail.com or screen_snark on Twitter.
Yes.
Please interact with us. We need it to live. We need your attention. We're needy.
We'll wither and
We'll die without. We're like
We're
Tinkerbell.
millennials. We'll wither and die without attention.
But thank you for being along for this ride.
Global Senpai.
But now, before we go, Rachel will ask our guest the final question.
Yes. Hana, I am delighted to hear your response to this question. So I'm just going to get to asking it. Hana, if you could choose one trope to instantly and magically be true in your life, as featured in film and television, which trope would you choose?
I don't have a name for it, but I can tell you. The one Asuka embodies in Neon Genesis Evangelion. If anyone follows me on Twitter, you already know. I just want to be very mean to people and have them like me for it. That's about it.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's working so
say,
far.
In an episode of The Owl House, the character of King does wear one of their workout outfits. So
Incredible.
There's like a little ref in that. And I'm just like, what the fuck are we doing?
It's like the next thing on my list. I'm not just saying that. It literally is. But it's like I was a big fan of like She-Ra and stuff. So it's like it's been sitting in the back of my head for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just did that rewatch and just remembered suddenly. I was like, oh yeah, they wore the little like off the shoulder. How dare. And it's all about King's puberty and I want to throw myself in the ocean. I'm sorry. I went off. Go off, King.
Fine.
Here I went. Get us out of here, Matt. Save me.
But thank you again, Hana, for joining us. This was delightful.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This was very invigorating. I was actually tired before this, and now I feel very energized.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And of course, I want to thank my stunning, brilliant, and brave co-host, the incredible Rachel Quirky Shank.
And I want to thank whatever 3 words I used to describe the Owl House co-host, Matt, a.k.a. Stormageddon.
Not even trying anymore.
You started the down, and I was like, I don't remember what my 3 words were for the Owl House. Something.
It's fine. And thank you, of course, our incredible listeners. This show would not exist without you. Thank you for being here. We will see you at the movies or on a couch somewhere. Bye-bye.
Oh, it was Better Witches Children. Better Children Witches. Fuck.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Did you know Rob Thomas has been writing since the mid-90s?
The Matchbox 20 guy?
No, the guy behind Veronica Mars.
Oh, and iZombie.
And Cupid, Party Down, the Cupid reboot.
I haven't seen those.
Me neither, but we should watch them and then talk about them on our podcast.
Yes. We could call it the Rob Thomas.
No, not that one.
Robcast.
Every other Tuesday with Alex and MJ.
Find us at notthatrobcast.libsyn.com or wherever you download podcasts.
CPOV. CertainPOV.com.